It's not nostalgia, I'm not crazy. For years, I've tried to convince myself that I was just growing up, that life wasn't so sweet anymore, that I might just be exaggerating a time that never was. When I look back at my childhood and my Xbox, I spent dozens of hours fondly playing Assassin's Creed 2, Black Ops 2, Storm 4, Injustice Online. I got my ass beat really bad in Injustice Online, but I still enjoyed it. But eventually the veil of cursed energy fell and I realized it wasn't me tricking my brain, it was Nintendo. So I went to prove it. I went into the old mind maze and found two distinctive examples where corporate greed ruined the gaming experience in my youth, and even now in my adulthood I can still enjoy video games to the fullest, to prove to myself that I'm not outgrowing video games, which is really important to me because it's the only thing that stopped me from doing crack. So without further ado, roll the tape. Let me give you some context. I love Pokemon. I had all the handbooks, all the guides, all the games, and thousands of cards at least in the crib. None of the rainbow ones though, because life has never been that good to me. So I was ecstatic when I heard that they were releasing a new Pokemon game so many years ago. I made videos about it when this channel used to be about gaming. I'm not sure everyone remembers this, but it was marketed as an open world Pokemon game, which is exactly what the genre needed. I was just straight glazing, dusting the dirt that laid firmament on Game Freak's ball. At the time, I had the agreements with my parents that for doing 10 hours of chore work in a week between cleaning, laundry, all the other house stuff, I would acquire a crisp $5 bill. But Pix, back in my day, we had to do all the house chores for free. I couldn't even buy milk for a week of labor. Regardless, if we do the math, 65 divided by 5 is 13. Everyday man's on the block. 13 weeks of saving it would take for me to buy my game. And I was prepared. I scrubbed that toilet with a smile on my face, thinking about my bountiful reward. And I even remember the day it came out. It was cold. I just walked to GameStop. Okay, kid, one Pokemon sword. That will be 65.43. No, I got a 65 on the dot. Well, it's 65.43, so by obligation I can't really sell it to you. Huh. Okay, let me cut to the chase. Underneath this hoodie I have 30 pounds of plastic explosion. Looking back on it, I remember him being very nice to me. I think he gave it to me for 40 bucks. And they said GameStop's cheap. Regardless, I booted it up, still a smile on my face, and it sucked. Let me tell you, it took me a day to beat it, and even at the time, I was just straight the whole way through. It had glitches, that free open world I was telling you about. Nope, you get grass and a pond. Deal with it. I couldn't tell you what the story of the game was. I don't even know if there was a story. Unfortunately for me though, I never learned. So when I heard the DLC got announced, I thought that was gonna be the redemption. So another 8 weeks of slave labor later, I have them. And you know what's crazy? They were even worse. The first one was how to train your competitively viable legendary, and the second was just a 2-hour fetch quest. I'll never forget. I made a video about that, and I literally remember saying in that video that this is buns after I spent like 20 minutes reading a book for the mandatory part of the game. I will never get over that. Now Legends EA is about to come out and I don't care. It had paid DLC announced with the game coming out. Like, you could just tell the amount of greed that stems from that. I was having a too old for gaming moment, and I was 13. Before we get to the good examples, some honorable mentions. Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild was one of my favorite games of all time. I loved it. There was two phases of me loving it. Phase one of me just walking around, watching every NPC because I had nothing else to do in my life. Seeing every enemy, finding every camp, practicing every weapon. It was awesome. And then phase two, when I got a little older, I liked speed running, breaking the game, glitches, all of that. It was fun all the time. And I had a very similar experience with Tears of the Kingdom, but I can't in good faith put it up here, mostly because Tears of the Kingdom had a simplicity problem. I couldn't like tell off the top of my head why it didn't hit the same as Breath of the Wild, and once again I just equated it to me getting older. But I ran across this video. I don't know if you played Tears of the Kingdom or was like Zelda or Nintendo at all. I'm rambling a little bit so you can skip forward a couple seconds, but there's this YouTuber, they're named after the Pokemon Skippy. They made like a 2-hour video about it, and at first I thought it was hate, but I watched, you know, I had a little burrito to eat, and I agree with them entirely by the end of it. Cyberpunk 2077 was genuinely one of my favorite gaming experiences. I really love how the combat was always fun and the world felt new. It felt fully fleshed out. That was awesome. My only complaint actually is that there wasn't more. It's very easy to misconstrue side missions and main missions, and I did all the side stuff before pushing the main story, and before I knew it, I was already disappointing my goat Jackie. How was I supposed to know the Arasaka ending was the bad when I spent the whole game getting to it? Lightning Round Sekiro, best combat I've seen in gaming. Elden Ring, go play it. I'll give you permission to leave the video after you like and subscribe. Just go play it. And Celeste, David did it, fight me. So drum roll please as we bring out our GOAT, everybody. Exposition. My second favorite game of all time was Hollow Knight. From the moment I spent 15 bucks on it, I was immersed. I saw every little thing, every nook and cranny secret. It was enveloping me. Recently, the sequel came out. And unlike my last favorite game, it was everything I wanted and more. You want to know why videos were a little late this month? It was mostly because of Silksong. Yeah. I won't spoil anything. The game is fairly new, but it's great. If you like the first one, play it. The most interesting part about it was that I had the exact same amount of fun that I did when I was a kid playing these kinds of games. My jaw was dropped the whole time, and I didn't even know that was a thing I could do. Like, I thought the streets took that out of me. The amount of replay value, the amount of like nooks and crannies, ways you could approach it. It was spectacular. Now that we know we aren't crazy, what went wrong? Why does so many games just feel empty now? Another hero shooter, another Star Wars game. Seriously, why do we keep letting Ubisoft make these? And unfortunately, the answer is greed. But not only greed, but the reputation to do so. Of course, when people take their time and make their dream game, it's all gonna come out way better than slop. But you know what they don't have? Money for marketing, which is where they lose out to AAA studios, who are the pillars of the company, the franchise, the genre. Which there's gotta be something said about having hundreds of people working on a game with all different visions, ideas, ways of coding, expertise, all of that. Of course it's gonna be messy, but they're also just chasing the wrong things. Nobody is buying a $30 Game Pass Xbox. That one hurt me particularly. I know my PlayStation would never do that to me, but I still got work for it too. We've reached the graphic peak, Sony. Like, relax, gang. We don't need a PS6. I just got you. I'm tired of companies coming out with half games and the rest is DLC. I want to buy a game and the game be fun out the box. Is that too much to ask? It's a problem because these people are the headliners. When someone wants to get into gaming, that's where they're gonna start. So that it needs to be a banger. If you ask me, I think they should start doing what Netflix does. Like, AAA studios will just bring in a person to have a little show bible, explain their game and concept, and if it's all approved, green lights everywhere, then they get like a team under that person's vision to make it. I think that'd be awesome. Pokemon saved me from a drug addiction, because everyone needs some way to cope. And I am positive that that would have been the only other answer if I had not gotten Diamond and Pearl that one random day. I can't quite prove it yet because the police did not co-sign my first idea for this video, but it's important that we set the example high. I hope I earned 2 clicks on your behalf. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Have a great day. But Pix, recently a lot of multiplayer games came out, like Lethal Company. It's really fun to play with your friends. I have a MacBook. It can barely handle me playing games by myself. You don't believe me? You want to see? All right, come. Hell Divers.